Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Tuchka with the Kickapoo Tribal Health Center Health Promotion and Disease Prevention Department. And who doesn't love the holidays? With the family, the friends, the food, the fun, the festivities, but it can also be stressful too, can it? With the busted budgets, the schedules, the cleanups, and a lot of other things that can come in and interrupt the joy or even steal it. So I'm joined by some friends here that are going to talk about how to keep a healthy holiday in the overall holistic frame of wellness. So I'm going to turn it over to them, but I'm going to see you here shortly. We're going to go through a workout together.
Hi, my name is Sarah Becker. I'm one of the acting behavioral health directors at the Kickapoo Tribal Health Center.
And I'm Cynthia. I'm the director of the Diabetes and Health Promotion Department, and I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist.
The winter and holiday seasons can really bring a lot of emotions to people. Sometimes those emotions can be great, but sometimes the season doesn't feel so merry or bright, and that's okay too. So 64% of people that have mental health diagnoses say that the holidays actually make their mental health worse. That's okay, that's normal. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. That's okay. This is also the time of year where most child mental health hospitalizations happen. So there's a lot of people in crisis, but there's a lot of reasons why this time of year can be difficult, whether that be loss of relationships, death of loved ones, pandemic challenges, not being able to see people we care about, changes in weather, sunlight, our appetite, our energy levels, our sleep patterns. All that stuff affects how we're feeling, thinking, behaving. But the good news is we all cope. We all have ways that we handle what's going on in our lives. Some of those are helpful, some of them are harmful. But we've got a lot of different ways that we can take care of our mental health during the winter time and during the holidays. So some of the ways that you can take care of your mental health and help take care of others, and others can take care of their mental health, is by taking a break from social media. We tend to compare ourselves when we're on social media. Opening the blinds and windows, getting more sunlight. Cynthia's going to talk to us a little bit more about that later. Practicing mindfulness, creating something, whatever that thing is. Investing in your relationships, setting obtainable goals, and then just making sure that you take time to rest mentally and physically. It's really important that we take care of ourselves. And I think Cynthia's got some more ways that we can take care of ourselves this season.
Yep. Thanks, Sarah. So food may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think about mental health, but it is certainly a very important thing. Just because there are certain nutrients that if you have low levels of these, it is linked to depression. So trying to get foods that have these nutrients in them can help boost your mood a little bit. So the first one we're going to talk about are the B vitamins. B vitamins like B12, B6, or folate. Those are just some examples. Now, specifically for your B vitamins, though, we're going to look for leafy greens like spinach. We'll look for whole grain breads, like just 100% whole wheat bread is what you're going to look for there. Legumes, that will be beans and lentils. And then lean protein, especially fish. And of course, chicken. We always know that chicken is a good, lean, healthy protein. We also want to look for omega-3 fats, okay? So this is a very healthy type of fat. It's good for your heart, it's good for your brain. And if you can get these types of foods at least a couple times a week, then you're going to be right on track. So some examples of omega-3 fats will be salmon or sardines, or if you prefer a plant-based food, you're going to look for chia seeds or walnuts. So, get a handful of walnuts a couple times a week, or, maybe even once daily will be really good for your health too. And then finally, we have vitamin D. So vitamin D is extremely important. So vitamin D, low levels of that, not only is it linked to depression, it's linked to a lot of other health issues like diabetes. For vitamin D, you're going to look for fish. So there's our fish again, especially salmon. That's a really, really good source of vitamin D. You can also look for a fortified orange juice or fortified milk or eggs. And then, of course, we can get vitamin D through sunlight. So vitamin D is kind of hard to get just from food alone. I know in the wintertime, it's a little bit more difficult because it's colder out, but if when we have a sunny day, just try to get outside and go for a walk. We need that sunlight so our body can make that vitamin D. And of course, being out there trying to get your vitamin D is going to be the perfect opportunity to get your exercise.
So now that we've talked about some ways to take care of our physical and mental health, we're going to turn it back over to Kevin. He's going to do some exercises that are open to anybody. Anybody can really utilize them to help take care of our physical health during the holiday season as well.
Ladies, thank you for that very valuable and useful information. If you're anything like me, you've made a couple of New Year's resolutions, and you get into the gym, you find out there are about 100 other people who made that same resolution, and it's kind of hard to fit in. So what we're going to do here, we're going to give you one kind of dumbbell routine, because it's easy to find a couple pairs of dumbbells and find a corner that you can get into, but you may not know what to do. So we're going to show you exactly what you can do with those exercises. I got my man Ethan Birdwell here. Ethan, say hello.
Oh, hey, everybody. I'm Ethan. Kevin's allowed me to be here to kind of demonstrate some quick, fun, easy workout stuff that you can consume at home, wherever you're at. You don't even need the dumbbells, but it's a great way to keep you active during these long winter months and just kind of stay in general shape. That way, when summer rolls back around, you're ready to go.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So Ethan is actually a former collegiate football player, so he kind of knows what he's talking about. So make sure to listen up if there's some little tidbits and tips that he's going to give out. Our first exercise is going to be an overhead press. So he's going to position his elbows forward of his wrist, and he's going to press skyward. That's all he's going to do. That's it. Yeah, if you notice, he's placing the dumbbells over his head once he's fully extended, and it's going to make sure that his shoulders stay in their joint, and he's also getting the best use out of his shoulders, and his abs are actually keeping him steady. How the abs doing?
No, they're feeling pretty great. You can definitely feel it, especially on the way down. Remember, it helps if you keep your core tight. That way you don't come down and you're not wobbling and anything. Because the last thing we want when the weight is above your head is for something to go wrong and you get overextended or underextended and drop the weight somewhere you don't want it to go.
Our next exercise is going to be a bent over dumbbell row. He's going to start out by pushing his hips backwards. That's going to hinge his body and put him in a good tight position. And all he's going to do is he's going to retract his elbows towards his hips with the dumbbells in his hands, and that's it. That's going to allow his lower back and his hamstrings, so that posterior chain, to actually hold him steady and let his back muscles move his arms. So it's a great way to get a compound movement out of just a couple of dumbbells. How's it going over there?
Feels good. You absolutely want to make sure your back is straight on this. The last thing you want to do is have a back like this, because you're going to end up hurt in some way, or you're going to hyperextend that, or you're going to lose your headband. And nobody wants that.
Nobody wants
So just keep a back, straight back, go as slow as you need to. This one definitely is not a speed race.
Amen. I know the hot spots for those of us who are in their late 30s and going on upwards is going to be our knees. But this is going to be a goblet squat. He's going to place his dumbbells near his shoulders and near his face. It's going to make sure that the weight is not centered over his back. And he's just going to throw his hips back, bend his knees, and drop all the way down. That is it. So he's keeping healthy knees because the weight is not centered over them. And he's making sure that his hips are creating the torque to come upwards. It's very easy to just kind of bend forward and put all that stress on your knees, but our whole body actually does this motion.
Yeah, and absolutely, when you go down, this is another one that you don't want to go fast on. If you go too fast to the bottom and you drop too quick, you're really not working out at that point. You're just damaging your ligaments. So go slow. It's a little bit harder, but your body will thank you in the end. Trust me.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we mentioned it before, compound movement. This is one that's actually pretty translatable to regular life, especially if you got kids out there. This is called a clean and jerk, but we're gonna do this from a hang clean. A hang clean just means you're not going all the way to the ground. So he's gonna bend, and he's gonna extend his dumbbells down to his knees, and in creating a torque, he's gonna do almost a squat jump, and it's gonna raise his elbows for him. That way he's not having to muscle it up with just his shoulders. And then he's gonna press upwards. So we just combined almost everything we did just now in one motion.
Let me show again real quick. Bend down to your knees. This is where you're gonna see that bent over row. Get to your knees. then come up the second part of the goblet squat. Then you're just gonna do an overhead press and try to make it as smooth as possible, but go as slow as you need to. This is another one you don't rush. If I rushed on this, I'm hitting Kevin with a weight, and nobody wants that.
Not another time today, anyway. Okay, so my recommendation, if you're just starting these and maybe this is probably your first introduction into these exercises, let's stick to sets. So sets are just bouts of exercise repetitions. So stick to 7 or 8. That's going to be the hypertrophy or muscle building or muscle enlargement, and also strength building. So stick to about 3 sets of 8 if you're starting out, or if you're somebody a little bit more seasoned and you only have access to some dumbbells, let's start thinking about using time over the actual repetitions. That way you can get the most exhaustion or exertion out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't have any weights, if you don't have anything that you can lift to work out with, these are great regular motions to just do. Nobody's getting hurt from a regular squat. You can do this, focus on the core. You can definitely focus more on the core, especially when you don't have weight, and you're gonna see benefit from that as well.
All right, so hey, thanks for joining us. And please share this video if you think there's somebody out there who might need just a little bit of coaching in the form of a video. It only takes a second to share it. And also, if you have any questions about exercise or about behavioral health, just please feel free to reach out to us, even if you're not exactly in our service area. So give me a call at 405-964-2081. My extension is 332. You can reach Ethan at 405-964-2618 and ask for Ethan, and maybe he can answer some questions if you have about these particular exercises, or point you to a service that might be valuable to you at Behavioral Health. Happy holidays! How was that workout?
I'm hot. Okay, this is good.